Hello everybody, it's Dave from Area Arachnids. We're going to do a video on my 4 Sericopelma Santa Canalitas, or species Santa Canalitas. I just absolutely love the Sericopelma genus. There's some great spiders in them. A lot of them are red rump type spiders with some different, tarsi or tarsa coloration, leg coloration, some other odds and ends. They're a very great spider. I got these 4 from Tom Patterson back in late September of last year. They molted twice and they're doubled, almost tripled the size that I got them in right now. They've all molted towards the end of January, between the 20th and 28th. All 4 of them molted. I think the last one was the 28th, the first one was the 20th, one was the 27th, I think one was the 22nd, something on there. So we're going to feed them. They haven't been fed since they molted, so you're going to see these guys are pretty vicious feeders. They remind me a lot of Pamphobeteus as far as their, the way they hit. They are just tanks. They are wonderful, wonderful spiders to have. This stuff here, I believe, is actually tarantula poop. We're going to clean that all out. These guys are probably all going to get an upgrade after their next molt. And I'll show you the enclosures that I actually have them in when we get to the next one. See, there we go. This is number 1. We're going to do them in sequence. This is the number 1, so this is the first one that I unpacked that day. You could see the coloration already. Just, they have these, how do you call them, like different shades of brown, and then you could see the different coloration on their tarsus there. They have that little thing. I like these, the generalums, the species bouquet. There's a whole bunch of them that are just absolutely outstanding to have, but this is my favorite out of all of them. I also have a species Darien that is a little bit smaller than these guys. Actually needs a rehouse. It's in a little 5-ounce condiment cup. It molted about 2 weeks ago, so it's going to get moved up to probably a softball size enclosure or another one of these. I do have another one of these available, so I may just put that one in this and have all 5 of my Sericopelmas in the same thing. But we're just going to feed all 4 of these guys so you guys get a look at them. And we'll do like a feature video on them some other time. We get into some more information and, care. But Sericopelma is no different than little cottles or brachypelmas. They're very easy to keep. I generally try to keep one side a little damp. It's a little harder in the wintertime, of course. Constant. There's so many spiders here to try to keep up with them. Sometimes I don't always get to it, but and then the other side dry. Try to give them some place that they can hide. Something they can go under. There's 2 of the 4 that are out all the time, and the other 2 are kind of a little bit more secretive. So let's get to the other ones. Okay, so here's number 2. Maybe that is a little bit of a mold. We're going to have to take care of that. So this one's the feistiest one of the 3, or the 4, excuse me. They can be skittish, actually. They are kind of, like I said, they're tanks, though. They hit real hard and real quick when they're hungry. And they generally are hungry all the time. So you don't have any problems with, they don't fast. Matter of fact, all 4 of these, well, 3 of the 4 of these actually ate within a week before they molted. So that'll tell you how food aggressive. Think of Nandus or Acanthoscuria. Or even Lasiodora, those ones there. That's the aggressiveness of feeding with these. They do grow quick. This is a large species too. They get roughly, I believe, between 7 to 9 inches total, and they're beefy spiders. So they're going to be a lot of fun having 4 of these big monsters. I hope that a couple of them are female. I did have a female before that got to just a. Well, she was probably about twice the size of this one here, and then she passed away. It was one of those ones we have no idea. It wasn't a molt, it wasn't anything. It was just one day she's fine, next day she wasn't. So let's move on to number 3. The number 3 is the one that's the most reclusive, and then we're going to do some cage maintenance of these guys. Clean up a little bit of this mold now that they're eating. You could see how skinny the abdomen is because they haven't eaten since they molted. So this will be their good feeding, and then we'll feed them again in probably 3 or 4 days just to get them back to a normal size. Okay, so I said I would show you guys what they're kept in. These are just some kind of Rubbermaid or Sterilite, or I don't even remember what the brand is of these. I got these at Walmart. You get 4 of them for, I don't know, $7, $6, something like that. They have clear tops. I do have 2 that have clear tops. And then these ones, last time I went to AM Clear, they had these blue ones. But I got these specifically for these 4 for this exact reason. And again, they'll probably only make it maybe 1 more molt, if 2, in these enclosures before they'll have to go. But they're a good little terrestrial enclosure. You can see, you can see pretty well through there. We did burn these holes, so you can see the discoloration of these burns. Those are with the soldering iron. So let's get this one set, and I'll get the roach out, and we'll take a look at this one. Okay, now this one is the most reclusive out of the 4. This one was the one that dug from the beginning. You could see the huge mound of dirt. That is a piece of cork bark right there that I put on top and then gave it a starter hole. Well, it took that starter hole and dug everything out on the bottom, brought it all out here. Don't think that we'll get to see this one out. Actually, probably won't, but this is the one that always seems to molt last. This is the one that molted on the 28th of January, so I'm not really quite sure. I'm sure it'll eat, but this one likes to, yeah, you can see the roach just dig in underneath the plant here, so I'm probably just going to let this one go. But this will give you an idea of how some of them can differ in the way that they live and what they do. We'll get a little higher view here. You can see the mound of dirt that's brought up all the way around there. We got to water all these guys. There's like 50 some tarantulas today that I got to do watering on. So, and apparently a couple of them that I need to do some mold maintenance on. And I have, oh, man, I can't tell you how many I gotta rehouse. Nandu Tropepi, 2 Nandu Chromatus. Goodness, I can't even remember what else I wanted to rehouse. Oh, my Plesiopelma species Bolivia. I wanted to get it out of the little Matchbox containers. I used to love those things, but I'm beginning not to like them anymore. I'm just going to put that little one into a 5-ounce deli. There's a couple Serajar Starlingi that's going from a 2-ounce deli into a 5-ounce. A Tigrina, Harpactira tigrina, that's also making that move. I think there's 2 other ones in those small little 2-ounce delis that are going to move up to the 5-ounce ones, and a couple that are going to move out of the 5-ounce ones into either softball enclosures or baseball enclosures. That would be 2 Harpactira pulchripes. But I'm not sure about the Epibopa Sinanathus. I have 5 of them, or not Sinanathus, the Udamans. I have 5 of them that are all doing great. One's a little bit smaller than the other 4, but we'll do a video on them another time. I never see them eat because they like to do laps around their little 5-ounce cup and they like to run out. So I generally will just throw something in there and cover them back up. So let's move on to number 4 and see if that one will come out. Okay, so number 4 is a little bit of both. This one will come out, but it does like to live underneath its log there. That log is a... I think the one I took a couple pieces and rounded them out and glued them together and made this little hide. This was a long time ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, that hide was made. I'll never know which side this one will come out of. Right now its toes are, you can see where the shadow is right here. Its toes are on that side. So we're going to throw the roach in and then just see. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe it'll feel it and it'll want to come out. Maybe the roach will just go in there. Yep, there you go. You saw it. Again, they are super, super eaters. I mean, they, like I said, they're tanks. You generally will not miss a feeding with them. They're fun to have, and if you're, if you're one of the people that love spiders that are good eaters, Sericopelma is definitely a genus that you should look into. They can be a little flicky here or there, but these 4, I have not had problems with them. I have more problems with my 3 Pamphobeteus that I have here. Those ones seem to be the spiders that want to flick hair more than any of the ones that I have here. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I don't upload as much as I used to. I'm trying to get a little bit better at that. Well, I haven't. This is the first real video I've done this year that I've actually talked in. There's been a couple videos of my Black Widow, I think. I don't know if I uploaded the second Black Widow video. If not, I'll upload that sometime next week. But I'm going to try and do a baboon series. So all of the baboons that I have, I think I have 30, 32, 33 of them here, including the HMAC. What I'll do is I'll take a species at a time, and we'll look at how they're set up. You know, the different habits of maybe a couple of the different, the ones you'll enjoy the most, I think, will be the Pteranachilus marinus, with all the different color forms. You'll see how differently they actually like to live. You know, between like the Mikumi and the Kenyas and the Zimbabwe and the Tete and the Kigomas, how some of them, you know, the one species will all dig. Some species like to be up a little bit higher and web up into the, you know, the upper parts, or up in the, you know, plants or whatever that I have up there. It's very interesting. Oops, we're kind of tilting there. It's very interesting. I was hoping it would come out while I was talking. It's very interesting how they all live kind of differently. But we have, you know, 5 Harpactira pulchripes. We have 2 Harpactira tiguina. We have 2 Namaquiensis. I think those are all the Harpact. Oh, I have the Harpactira marxi. Then we have the Harpactirella overjecki, the Heterothele villicella. Of course, all my Pteranachilus, my Lugardes. I don't remember exactly all the ones that I actually have. Of course, the HMAC. Gosh, there's so many of them, I can't even remember all of them. But most of them will be in the Pteranachilus genus. The Lugardes, the Lapalalas. I have 2 Lapalalas as well. So I'm going to try and do those, like I said, we'll try to pick one of the species and just do a video on those species. I'll try to give you information on where they come from, you know, general size of how they get, temperament that I've seen so far. Of course, none of them are adults except for 2 Harpactira pulchripes and 1 Namaquiensis, and she's not even mature. She's a young adult. But anyway, my interactions with them and my experience. And then we're going to be looking for a podcast coming up soon. I'm going to go back to the Erie Arachnid Says podcast. The first one I think I'm going to do is understanding the differences in keeping geographically. Again, my way is not always the right way, but it's the right way for me and what works for me, but it may not work for you. So I always try to tell people, you know, whatever you see me doing doesn't mean that's going to work the way that, or where you live. So, you know, certain things like that, pickups that you can maybe help when you're on the groups on how to help give advice, or even doing YouTube videos, because I know a lot of people do YouTube videos and their information is specific and their keeping care is specific to how they do it, not realizing that, you know, someone in England may be watching, or someone in India may be watching, where the way that they would keep that species would be completely different than the way that that person would keep them that's doing the video. So hopefully you guys will look forward to that. I know people have been begging me to get back on doing the podcast, actually more than people have been asking me to do videos. So I'm going to try my very best. Hopefully the middle of February we'll get the first podcast back out. So again, happy keeping. Go check out the Tarantula Community Facebook group. We're doing everything we can there, hopefully helping people get better at keeping. And we'll see everybody in the next video, or you'll hear me in the next podcast.